you could say, like, going back to the manga is a parallel universe to the universe of the anime, you know, because different things happen in different ways. And so, and like you said, you're not really a fan of them like having multiple different versions of the same story, right?
Right. It's like, it's just, I guess if you're gonna, have a continuity of, of, you know, a show, I would say keep it the same. Therefore, so therefore people don't get lost in translations. Like people don't understand. It's like, well, if this happened, why didn't this happen? Because this happened in the manga, but this is happening in the anime. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think a lot of problems and a lot of discourse with the Dragon Ball Super story is that there are more than one, renditions, and for some arcs there's like three different ways it happened. There's the movie version, there's the manga version, and there's the anime version. And that creates a lot of inconsistencies because at some points they're like, well, you saw the movie, right? We don't have to go over everything, but then it's like, well, we're like, it's in the manga though. It's like some of these things are in the manga. It's like, well, what happened and what didn't happen, and it's just there's a lot of confusion and everything, and yeah, that's an unfortunate problem with Dragon Ball that it could be remedied, and I think that's what they're doing again with superhero. That's why they're trying to make sure they actually adapt the entire movie into the manga, and that way you can still, like, if you just read the manga you can still have a good firm idea of what is actually happening in the story. The only problem with that though is what I would say, the only problem with making a more, succinct story, like getting one story down, is now that you're beholden to what happens in that story. You can't just say, "Oh, well, it's, further explained in the anime or in the movie," or it's like I feel like you lose your wiggle room, so to speak. You understand what I'm saying?
Oh, of course, definitely. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
so,
like,
like, there's things happening in the manga right now, like I said, that feel kinda like retreads, and I think that's what, um, gets people upset because it's like, "Alright, well, if we're gonna get, like, the manga is the manga, that's the story, well, then you need to be beholden to the story," and it seems like they kinda just dismiss things that have happened before, and as a person who mostly just reads the manga, how do you feel about the continuity of Dragon Ball and how, like, they just kind of forget about different things and have to relearn techniques? Like, what's your opinion on that?
uh, I feel like they're sometimes I feel like they're phoning it in.
Like the creators?
Yeah, I feel like they're phoning it in. They're just there's too many plot holes. Like it's just it it aggravates me sometimes, but I understand. Like the writers are not the original writers from back in the day. I mean, this show's
Mm,
been going on for 30 years plus. So yeah,
right,
there's gonna be continuity problems. There's gonna be loophole problems. There's gonna be just plot holes all over the place. I mean, if I always say it's funny is like I was like some of the Dragon Ball fans here were like, man, the Dragon Ball has more plot holes than we do on Marbach Street. You know what I mean? If it's a San Antonio thing. Like here, if there's a street named Marbach Street that just has so many potholes in it, it's
okay.
just like, and it's funny. It's just like it's just like it's it's like in the Dragon Ball series, they don't talk about they never reference anything back to the Tree of Might. They never really to you know the world's strongest. And nothing about the Android series. Android. Seven. You know. The Super Android and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like you know, like it's just like I wish they would like throw a reference here and there, like
Mhm.
to it, to just give it some acknowledgement, like what it did happen.
Right, and I think that the need for that to happen, why readers want that, is just they want to feel like what they read, meant something, like, or what they, watched, or because like mentioning Tree of Might, like the movie continuity. like, yeah, the movies are mostly isolated stories. They never really mention, things that happened formerly in movies, like even in that continuity. So it's like, yeah, it's just you want to feel like it's all like stacking on top of each other, like it's all their consequences and what the choices that they make, matter and could even come back in a way that's meaningful.